Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 144. Thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone's doing okay out there, despite these strange days. You know, the other day my wife was commenting about life before COVID-19, so she used the term BC. I thought that was kind of funny. Anyhow, I hope that you and your loved ones are safe and you're healthy and you're not too impacted financially by this whole thing, which of course just makes everything a lot worse and a lot more challenging and stressful. But I hope that you're okay. I know my work has taken a bit of a hit. All the speeches that I had planned for 2020 have been canceled, of course, so that's not fun, but still, writing articles. But a lot of it has fallen to the wayside. That's just how it's going. A lot of people don't have any work, zero. So who am I going to complain to? I have to be grateful for what I have, even though it's a blow, right? Like many of you as well. So hoping that there's an end soon. I'm feeling like there's a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not sure about you, but slowly getting back to normal, but it can't come fast enough, right? So look, as we've done on the past month on this program, we're going to be exploring several tech angles to COVID-19. We have 5 segments this hour. We're first going to touch base with Twitter to hear how that platform is aiming to dish up vetted, reliable content tied to coronavirus for you in a new tab that you'll find on Twitter. After that, we're going to talk with tech expert Carley Knobloch about some smart home tech and some banking apps too that may be able to help, as well as some tips to avoiding stimulus check scams. Then, since there's no real sports to watch on TV, we're going to hear about a new video game called Ultimate Rivals that offers something very unique. This game is playable now on Apple Arcade. And finally, we're going to talk online education, remote learning or distance learning, whatever the phrase is today. It keeps changing, it seems. And we're going to chat with Prodigy Education about this trend and how students can not just survive, but thrive while working from home in virtual classes. All right, time to officially kick things off on this week's Tech It Out, powered by ASUS. I'll tell you more about them shortly, but let's get to our first interview. What's the number one social media platform for breaking news, discussing and debating hot topics, sharing content, and connecting directly with others? Well, if you said Twitter, you'd be right. And if you thought Twitter was popular before the COVID-19 pandemic, you bet it has become even more relevant since the start of this global crisis. Here to tell us what Twitter is up to lately, we're joined by Paul Burns, country manager for Twitter. Welcome to the show, Paul. Good to talk to you.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
I'm okay, hanging in there like the rest of us. How about yourself?
Yeah, same. Every day feels a little different, but also the same.
Groundhog Day a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Now, look, before we talk about the COVID-19 resources within Twitter, please tell us something that we should know about the platform for those who aren't yet on Twitter, and tell us something most people don't know about Twitter that might be interesting.
Yeah, Twitter is this. It's a platform that allows people to have a conversation about what's happening in the world and to connect to things that they care about. And so, depending on what's happening in the world at this very moment, from sports to news to politics to what's happening in outer space, Twitter's a platform where you can almost get up to the minute conversational data and join a conversation about those things. So yeah, that's Twitter in a nutshell. It's a great platform. It's been around for about 14 years, and it is the conversation layer of the internet, as we like to say. And your question about what's something that people don't know about Twitter, the thing that I love about Twitter, actually, it's the best thing to have with you while you actually watch TV. I find it's the best companion to TV. While a TV show is on and you have Twitter up and running on your smartphone or your computer, it's just a great sort of conversation, water cooler conversation about the show that you're watching. And I love watching sports and having Twitter up and running at the same time. It's just it makes TV so much more enjoyable. So that would be something that I would say not a lot of people know, but when they do find out, it's like the best kept secret.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of the trending hashtags would be tied to something going on. It'll be like hashtag The Bachelor or hashtag President Address or something like that. If Donald Trump is on some sort of tirade to his 77 plus million followers on Twitter. But yeah, often it does sound like it would be an ideal second screen for sure. So that's a great overview. Thank you for that. And no doubt Twitter has become even more popular since March. That is true, correct?
Yeah, COVID-19, we're just seeing a massive surge in conversations and traffic in the last month, in the last several months. We're seeing a COVID-19 related tweet on the platform every 45 millisecond. And so, and we announced actually a couple weeks ago, our daily average users are up 23% over a year ago. So massive surge in people coming to the platform. And I think because COVID-19, there's new information almost every minute, it feels like.
Yeah.
Twitter's this great real-time news platform where people just can stay up to date on what's happening with the political landscape, with the global outbreak news, how various states and provinces and countries are dealing with these things around the world. And so we've just seen this unbelievable surge in conversation around that topic.
And it could be hyper-local topics as well, like not even just tied to your particular city, but even your neighborhood, which is pretty cool. And other related topics must be trending too, Paul. Things like working from home, staying entertained during self-isolation and all that.
Yeah, maybe not surprising, but, conversations like gaming, up 71% over last year. Conversation around pets, up 38% over last year. Cooking and baking, surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, we're just seeing twice as many people talking about cooking and baking, and seeing about 500,000 tweets a day about that topic. And
right.
This great Netflix show, I don't know if you've seen it, Tiger King.
Of course.
It's an iconic cultural phenomenon. Since its premiere a few weeks ago, we've seen over 1.2 million tweets about that. And so, working from home, but all of these sort of domestic lifestyle rituals that are now emerging because of that are just like blowing through the roof.
Yeah, and no doubt anything tied to Zoom calls, Zoom bombing, Zoom backgrounds, because the video chatting platform is also incredibly popular as we're all cooped up at home as well. We're joined by Paul Burns, country manager for Twitter, to chat about Twitter and COVID-19. And with that in mind, now let's talk COVID-19 resources on Twitter. What's new there?
Yeah, lots of different resources that, I think include a number of things. Most importantly, helping people find reliable information. That's been one of the most important things for us. And so we created an event page. When you open Twitter, at the top of everyone's timeline, there's this link that just says COVID-19, and you click on it, and it's got the latest coronavirus information, latest tweets from medical government authorities, and all of the latest conversations that are emerging around the topic. That's a big one. We're trying to protect people, and so a lot of what we're trying to do is make sure that our people are they know what's legitimate and know what's not, and so we're actually going about verifying medical workers in the country, around the world. We're trying to make sure that the people who have authorities in the topic of public health and public safety are actually, being recognized as verifiable sources of information. So these are a few of the steps we're taking to make people aware of what's happening around COVID-19 in the world.
So just to be clear, Twitter has people who are vetting the news sources. Twitter isn't just going to have it on its event page or its news tied to COVID-19 until it's been like a fact or something has been verified.
Like every global leader is talking about this topic right now. And so around the world, we are actually, when you search in the search tab on Twitter for coronavirus or any related tweet, we send you to the actual public health sites for the specific country in question. So we want to make sure that we are putting people through to the most authoritative voices on the topic. The COVID-19 event pages that I just mentioned are in 30 plus countries around the world. And I think what the big thing is that we're trying to make sure happen is verifying COVID-19 experts. And so this is working with global public health authorities to identify experts and that already have, verified, accounts. We're trying to make sure that they are clearly authorities viewed in the mind of the public.
Got it. And would you see this COVID-19 event page at the top of Twitter, whether you're on the mobile version, like on a smartphone or a tablet, or on the desktop version, like on a PC or Mac?
Yeah, in either version, when you go to the top of your timeline, you will see a COVID-19 event page. If you're in, one of the 30 countries that we've made it available in, which, in North America includes, Mexico, US, and Canada. So that would be sort of seen on desktop and mobile versions of Twitter.
Okay, Paul Burns, thanks so much for carving out some time to chat with us. Twitter's been more important than ever, understandably so, and certainly a platform that I turn to several times a day, and I know I'm not alone. Thank you again for everything, Paul. Be well.
Thanks, Mark. You too.
Tech It Out is powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning ZenBooks, VivoBooks, Chromebooks, and Expert Books. Head over to asus.com/US/radio for more info. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. Of course, we're spending a lot more time at home because of social distancing and self-isolation, but it might be the perfect time to see how tech can help you. So we have on the line tech lifestyle expert Carley Knobloch with some great ideas for your home and for your remote banking needs as well. Hi, Carley. Always great to chat with you. How you holding up?
Hey, I'm doing great, and I hope you're doing well too. I've partnered with some cool tech brands that I hope will make all the time we're spending at home a little bit easier.
Why don't we dive right in? What smart home gadgets do you like right now?
The first one I want to talk about is the C by GE Motion Sensor Starter Kit. Super helpful when it comes to energy savings and also convenience. Basically, it will trigger your smart light bulbs to turn on when you enter a room. So you can imagine if you put one at your front door, you never come home to a dark house because it turned your lights on for you. Also, it can be programmed to dim your lights in the evening or turn them off completely at bedtime, which means you don't have to run around hitting every switch before you go to bed. My kids are famous for leaving lights on all over the house in every room. So this kind of product would definitely help me yell at them less, which is especially helpful now that we're all living in close quarters. And the C by GE Motion Sensor Starter Kit, you can get at Lowe's now for $36.98.
That's just the letter C by GE Motion Sensor Starter Kit. And that sounds perfect. In fact, I wrote an article last week for USA Today on ways technology can help you save money at home on your utility bills. So this sounds like it also can do the trick.
Absolutely.
Love it. What else did you have for us?
So I don't know about you, but my house right now is like a revolving door of shipments and contactless deliveries all day long. So the Arlo Video Doorbell is my next product. Also a super helpful tool for exactly the kind of life we are all living right now. I get a notification when my package is detected on my front porch through the Arlo app. And then I can also use the app to do two-way audio and communicate with the delivery person about where I want them to leave things and without having to go and greet him at the door. So that makes us both safer, which is great. Plus it has HD footage, really clear, and a huge field of view. So I can see visitors from head to toe and also see packages on the ground. So the whole thing just really allows you to keep a better eye on your front porch and really answer the door from anywhere that you are.
Awesome. I have an Arlo outdoor camera that I really like. It uses cellular connectivity instead of Wi-Fi, and this sounds great for your doorstep. So it's called the Arlo Video Doorbell. How much does it cost?
You can check it out at arlo.com, and it is $149.99.
Okay. All right, Carley, many of us are now banking through our mobile devices. Do you have any tips there or any apps you can recommend?
Yeah, totally. Mobile banking has never been more helpful, especially now that we're all social distancing. So financial technology like the Chase mobile app really helps you securely manage your finances without visiting a branch or going to an ATM. A lot of people are really starting to do online banking now for the first time. It's really exciting. So tons of features like being able to deposit a check just by simply taking its photo, paying your bills with the app, and instantly sending money to friends and family. Plus, you can set up account alerts, which I think is the most important thing. Really helps you track all of your transactions in real time so you can keep an eye on things. If anything looks funny, you're the first to see it. You can call the bank and discuss. Plus, you can also use the app to check your credit score for free using a feature that they have called Credit Journey.
All right, that's the Chase mobile app. That's at chase.com/mobile. And speaking of looking at your account and seeing if anything looks suspicious, do you have any advice for avoiding those stimulus check scams that we've been hearing about?
Yeah, totally. It's such a great question because scams are definitely on the rise. It's unfortunate but true. But there are some precautionary measures you can take. Number one, again, set up those alerts in the Chase mobile app or at chase.com to monitor all your transactions. That's the way you're going to see things as they happen and check them out if they don't look right to you. You also want to make sure you keep your contact information up to date with your bank so that they can reach out to you if they suspect any fraud, and that'll help you avoid any unnecessary lockout from your account. And then lastly, the emails. If you see an email that's asking you for personal information, they want you to click on a suspicious link, or they threaten to close or freeze your account if you don't respond quickly. That's another fear tactic. Just ignore that because it's definitely not from your bank. And Chase has a great web address where they have tips and resources related to the impact of COVID-19, and you can check that out at chase.com/stayconnected.
Stay connected. All right. Tech lifestyle expert Carley Knobloch. It's always great chatting with you. Is there a website you'd recommend to get more tips and see even videos of these products in action?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to killerapps.com to see and learn more about all of these products that I shared with you today.
Killerapps.com. Love it. Carley, great chatting with you. Be well. Stay healthy.
Oh, you too, Mark. Great to talk to you.
This show, Tech It Out, is powered by ASUS. I mentioned earlier they make ZenBooks and VivoBooks, expert books for business, and Chromebooks for students and budget-conscious shoppers. But they also make desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more, including a line of gaming gear called ROG, or Republic of Gamers. This is an awesome company. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio to check out their goods. That's asus.com/US/radio. When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to learn about a new video game on Apple Arcade called Ultimate Rivals. Let's face it, there's no real sports to watch on TV, so this might be the next best thing. Plus, you're also going to learn what makes this sports game unique compared to all the other ones out there. Also on today's Tech It Out, we're going to talk about education going online, virtual, with kids at home. And we're going to talk with Prodigy Education about their platform and tips and tricks for students to remain productive while at home. Not easy, of course, a huge shift. So stay with us. A lot more Tech It Out coming up. This is the Radio America Network. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. With the COVID-19 pandemic, there are no live sports to watch, of course, but a new video game might be the next best thing. We're now going to chat with a video game developer called BitFry that has become the first ever to create a new officially licensed sports gaming franchise that features star athletes from several different major sports leagues. To chat with us about Ultimate Rivals, The Rink, now available for Apple Arcade, we're joined by Todd Zeal, co-founder and chief Chief Business Development Officer at BitFry Game Studios. Welcome to the show, Todd. Thanks for your time.
Mark, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Before we talk about the game, Ultimate Rivals, tell us a bit about BitFry.
Well, BitFry is a game studio that is headquartered in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and the founder and CEO, Ben Friedland, was a New Yorker, was a Wall Street guy, and moved up to New Hampshire a handful of years ago, and was a longtime avid gamer and loves sports. And so he decided that he would start BitFry Game Studios, and his first endeavor was to bring back sports video games that he had played as a kid growing up that he thought had seen a little bit of a disappearing act from the marketplace, and wanted to bring back some of that arcade action sports. And so he founded the company and then started with baseball, and we met soon after that to really develop this franchise and our first release, the rink that you mentioned.
All right. Now, speaking of baseball, Todd, you were a pro MLB player, right? For several teams.
Indeed. I was drafted in 1986 out of UCLA and played until 2004, had quite a few stints around the league and a little more than 16 years. And what was as relevant about that time as it pertains to BitFry and Ben and this sports franchise that we've started was, I was a part of the licensing committee for the Major League Baseball Players Association for about 12 years as a player. And it really kind of gave me a feel for what was going to be probably, the most challenging, but I think most unique aspect of our game. And that's to hold the licenses from all of the major sports players and the leagues and be able to mesh those two things together.
So with that in mind, tell us a bit about Ultimate Rivals, the rink. It implies that it's a skating rink, so it's a hockey game, but leans more on the arcade side of things than a simulation.
Exactly. And Ben's vision, as I mentioned at the beginning, was that he thought the sports video game market had been sort of consolidated into these ultra simulated, highly technical games like MLB The Show and Madden and 2K and NBA, and that there was a place in that market for the arcade action games of the past, like NBA Jam and Blades of Steel and NHL 94, Blitzballers, all the other games that were part of the 90s sports gaming movement. And so he really wanted to have hockey be the first game out because of the mechanics of hockey. Anybody can pick it up and play. It's very easy to modify the rule set a little bit. You know that you're on the ice and you got to shoot a goal, but the thing that made this so unique was that we were allowed to take athletes from all the other sports and bring them into the hockey rink and utilize their prowess as an athlete in their native sports to kind of make them superheroes when they get into something that's not their sport. So, for example, LeBron James or Steph Curry or De'Aaron Fox from the NBA comes into a hockey game and they bring their own attributes into that and sort of become like Avengers and superheroes on the ice. And that's really what you see when you see our first game, The Rink. It is a very fast-paced, over-the-top action with ultimate moves from players like Wayne Gretzky to Justin Turner to, as I mentioned, Alex Ovechkin and guys in the NBA like LeBron James. So great mashup and really fast-paced, fun, over-the-top action.
Is it a single-player game, or do you play with your buddies? And if so, can you do so over the internet, like multiplayer?
It is a single-player game on Apple Arcade right now. We've just put in it's eventually going to be a multiplayer online competitive game. That was always the intent of the game. And we really started down the path building these games for console. It's a very rich, deep experience. Easy to pick up and play, but it's got a lot of depth to it. And so when we launched first on arcade, it was a single player game. We've added in a multiplayer online, a 1v1 online with some, random matchmaking. And then the next step is to be able to play multiplayer online and be able to match your own opponents so you can play online with friends and and other rivals that are out there trying to match it up.
So for those who aren't familiar with Apple Arcade, it's a service where you pay, I think it's $5 a month in the US and $6 a month in Canada. And you have access to more than 100 games on iPhone and iPad, or are there other platforms supported?
For right now, we are exclusive to Apple Arcade. That was our first launch. They've been great partners for us, working on developing not only the first game in the franchise, The Rink, but we're in late stages of development of the next in the franchise, which is Ultimate Rivals, The Court, which would imply, as you already imagined, that we're going on to the basketball court. So taking that same concept, fast-paced, over-the-top action, and being able to bring in players from all the sports leagues, including U.S. women's soccer players and WNBA players into this, and then we're even going to expand that universe. So the court's going to be out later this summer on Apple Arcade, and like I said, eventually you'll see us on console as well. But right now, we found a great home on Arcade.
Yeah. I love this mashup approach. Don't take this the wrong way, Todd, but it's kind of funny that a giant video game publisher like EA Sports or 2K Sports hasn't been able to do this, but a lesser-known studio like BitFry was able to pull this off. Did they not think of the idea, or you just had better success in making it happen with your connections?
I mean, that's a really good question. I think what happened, Ben and I have relationships at all the leagues and players associations. That was one of the things that I think I brought to the table in coming to BitFry. And those relationships really gave us an opportunity to pitch this as an entire platform so that the leagues and players could understand that this was going to be able to highlight their athletes and their leagues year round in a way that is fun and exciting and maybe can even, be a little bit more accessible to a younger audience.
Congratulations on Ultimate Rivals, The Rink, playable now on Apple Arcade. Pleasure chatting with you. All the best.
Mark, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to learn about online education, how this might be the future. We're going to chat with Prodigy when we return. Stay with us.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Life, for most of us, has turned upside down since the COVID-19 pandemic spread globally in early March, changing the way we work, socialize, shop, and yes, learn. Schools are still shut down to stop the spread of the virus, and so we've shifted to e-learning, online education, with students using computers and other devices at home to remain connected to their teachers and their classmates. So we're now going to learn about Prodigy Education. It's a free math platform used by more than 50 million students globally. Joining us on the line to chat is Dr. Joshua Pryor, Partnerships Education Lead at Prodigy Education. Thank you for your time, Dr. Pryor.
Mark, thank you so much for having me on with you.
Before we talk about Prodigy Education, please talk to us a bit about this global shift to distance learning or remote education, whatever the current phrase is.
Absolutely. As both terms can be used. As you and your listeners already know, COVID-19 has caused a major disruption for students and parents and educators globally. It's become clear that the system just wasn't prepared for an abrupt shift from traditional teaching and learning to fully remote learning on such a massive scale. I think a lot of that's evidenced by a report that recently came out from the LA Times where they reviewed results from a survey of over 1,200 public school parents that was commissioned by a nonprofit research and advocacy group called the Education Trust. And they found that 89% of parents are concerned about their children falling behind academically while schools aren't in session. And 80% of parents said they've been experiencing stress levels higher or much higher than usual, which of course is completely understandable. At the moment, parents are in-home coaches and child care providers. They're trying to juggle working from home in a best-case scenario. And they shouldn't have to worry about high-quality resources and especially not the cost of them. When we think about the role this has played on teachers, we know that they play a critical role in student motivation. Many of them already lean on digital resources like digital game-based learning to help augment their impact. And they know that digital game-based learning works. And even better, the kids love it. So on a broad scale, we anticipate that the adoption of technology is going to continue to accelerate technology is going to be used even more effectively than it already is. We're going to see digital game-based learning become even more deeply embraced than it is. And we're going to see all stakeholders becoming more familiar and comfortable with the role that technology is now playing in their children's learning. And so we want parents to know that resources like Prodigy can help alleviate that stress surrounding their children falling behind in math and provide support in a way that students really want to participate.
When you say game-based learning, Dr. Pryor, do you mean like having rewards and goals and this sort of interactivity that kids are used to with video games, but with an educational slant?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. Students are in and playing a game, and while they're in that game, they're experiencing the same kinds of things they would experience in a traditional video game, but the difference is that learning is woven into it. So instead of that traditional game-based platform, they're going to be able to learn as they're playing.
Right. I remember giving my kids a Math Blaster CD-ROM when they were younger, where they're flying through space and they had to quickly perform some math functions, in order to keep that adventure going on. So it fuses education with entertainment. And as you said, it's very engaging for the kids. And it doesn't continue on unless they click or tap the right answer, unlike a movie or something that's passive.
Right, exactly. It's meant to be real time and engaging with that feedback that they need to learn while they play.
So what is Prodigy Education all about? We've already talked about it being a math-based program or platform. Can you elaborate?
Sure. So at Prodigy, we're focused on helping to ensure that all students love learning, and we do that in a few ways. So first, we provide a digital game-based math learning resource for students in 1st through 8th grade, which we call Prodigy Game. And through that, we have, like you said, over 50 million student users, over 2 million teacher users, countless administrators and parents who rely on us. Secondly, we've rolled out an online tutoring offering that we began before COVID-19 really came into view for everybody. And because of that, we've seen growth in that beyond our imagination, because parents are really looking for ways to enhance their children's math learning outside of the classroom. So because we put so much care into creating the most engaging math platform in the world, we've seen an unparalleled level of organic sharing by teachers and parents. I've been lucky enough to be both a teacher and administrator in public education, and I personally have never seen a resource like Prodigy that combines learning and fun so seamlessly before. And also, as a parent, I'm lucky to be able to see the joy they can bring to students learning firsthand. And my experience really isn't unusual. We did a survey recently and got responses from over 450 parents from across the United States. 91% of the parents who responded reported that their children enjoy using Prodigy. 85% said that it was appropriate for their children's academic needs, which was wonderful to hear. So our focus is on continuing to help every child to love learning by providing a game-based learning platform, also providing support via online tutoring that can help them improve in math.
We're chatting with Dr. Joshua Pryor. He's the Partnerships Education Lead at Prodigy Education. It's a free online math platform used by more than 50 million students. There are many other math platforms available for e-learning or distance learning. What would you say are the key differentiators between Prodigy Education and the competition?
There are a few things that come to mind right away that make us different from virtually all the other resources in the marketplace. First is that students absolutely love our game, and we know that because we did an informal survey of administrators from across the U.S., and 100% of them reported that their students enjoy playing Prodigy. It's a massive multiplayer online role-playing game. Students create an avatar. They go on a quest to conquer a nemesis called the Puppet Master, but the quest requires them to do math to progress through every step of the game. We see over 9 million math questions answered every month, which means we likely know more about math than anyone else.
When we return on Tech It Out, we'll continue chatting about Prodigy Education and how this might just be the way things will continue on even after the COVID-19 pandemic runs its course. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're going to continue chatting with Dr. Joshua Pryor, Partnerships Education Lead at Prodigy Education, in a moment, about the key differences between Prodigy as a platform compared to other online math courses. So we're going to get to that in a moment. But first, a thank you to ASUS, the title sponsor on this program, the company that creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops, desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. Okay, before the break, Dr. Pryor, you were talking to us about the advantages of Prodigy Education compared to other math platforms for online learning. Please continue your thought.
Thank you so much, Mark. No matter what role you play as a Prodigy stakeholder, whether it's as a student, parent, teacher, or administrator, our platform is completely no cost. We sustain ourselves on optional memberships that parents can purchase for their children that provides additional game features. But no matter who you are, no matter where you are, the world-class education content that students see is always the same quality, whether they're free or paid users. Third, we spend a great deal of time investing in internal and external research with one of the best institutions of higher education in the world to get an unbiased test of the effectiveness of Prodigy. And we've seen really positive correlation results showing that Prodigy use has a positive impact on both student achievement and attitudes. And we published that on our website for anyone to review.
All right, we'll get to that website a little bit later. How are kids tested over this platform? I mean, I think that's a lot of parents are questioning how they can prove that they've actually learned something.
Of course, testing weighs heavy on the minds of everybody. And as a student, it's really incredible because your experience on Prodigy is incredibly personalized. You don't even really know why. And that's part of the magic of the algorithm that runs in the background. Students know that they want to win math battles, they want to build towers and explore worlds within the game. But in the background, we're generating real-time achievement information for teachers, parents, and administrators to leverage to support their students. So as students begin their Prodigy journey, they're introduced to a storyline, but there's a stealth diagnostic assessment that's woven right into it, meaning that our algorithm will test them on their skills across various math domains like geometry and number and operations in base 10 as they're playing, and it's built right into the game. From there, our algorithm can identify where students are strong and where they're struggling, and it'll then deliver standards-aligned math content delivered at the appropriate level of difficulty so that they don't find themselves frustrated because the work is far beyond their level of understanding and causing them to become frustrated. They know that they're playing, they're having fun, and they're learning, but it's at the appropriate level. And we have an entire algorithm team that works really hard to make sure that they get the best experience possible. So aside from that, of course, we've had an independent analysis of our platform that was completed by a top 20 graduate school of education in the United States. They identified that Prodigy is uniquely positioned because we allow teachers to align the math content to what they're teaching in class. And that's a really special benefit that other platforms just don't provide. We're really different because students don't even know they're in a testing environment. Parents don't need to stress about students being worried about a big upcoming test. All they need to do is say, sure, go ahead and play some Prodigy. Kids think they're just having fun playing a math game, but parents and teachers know they're learning while doing it, and that's a major win-win.
We're almost out of time, Dr. Pryor, but I know you've got some personal stories on how some teachers are really going above and beyond during COVID-19. Can you share one of those stories with us?
Certainly. So one example that comes to mind right away is a teacher out of Syracuse, New York, named Justine Hill, and she teaches third grade at East Syracuse Elementary. And every day she does video conferencing with her students to help outline the agenda for the day, which includes Prodigy use. She shares lessons, she provides social interaction, and she schedules one-on-one meetings with parents to help promote a really personalized approach. Prodigy is built right into that. And so the information and data that are collected for her to be able to help assess student achievement, something she can share out with the parents that she works with of her students. That helps enable her to close gaps because she can connect what the students are learning on Prodigy with the material that they need to know in her class.
All right, so it's prodigygame.com. Dr. Pryor, thank you so much for your time. Stay healthy.
Thank you so much, Mark.
And thank you for tuning into this week's Tech It Out. I hope you enjoyed the program. We first spoke with Twitter about a new portal within Twitter devoted to COVID-19 news that's been vetted. Then we spoke with Carley Knobloch, a lifestyle technology expert, about some recommended smart home tech as well as banking apps. After that, it was Ultimate Rivals, a new video game on Apple Arcade devoted to the sports that we can't watch on TV right now. And then after that, Prodigy Education. We learned about online learning and what's new there. Thank you so much for tuning into Tech It Out, everyone. Powered by ASUS. For those in search of incredible, ASUS.com has more. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Stay healthy, stay well, and I look forward to chatting with you next weekend on Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.